Hello and welcome to Should I Buy Games? My name is Connor Evans and today I'll be talking about the Ratchet and Clank remake on PS4. For many a college student, Ratchet and Clank brings out an exceeding amount of nostalgia. We all have stories of waking up in our PJs, running downstairs on a Saturday morning and planting our butts in front of the TV screen to hang with our buddies Ratchet and Clank. Now, 14 years later, Insomniac Games has brought that childlike wonderment to another level on PS4, as the over-the-top madness has never looked so good. It's hard to believe that it's been that long since the original Ratchet and Clank. The Ratchet series tends to get buried in comparison to the likes of Sly Cooper or Jak and Daxter, as it's curtailed off in its more recent entries. There hasn't been a proper Ratchet and Clank game since A Crack in Time. Could the legacy ever be restored after those dark times? Ratchet and Clank on PS4 is your answer. Yes. Ratchet and Clank on PS4 is what I imagine developer Insomniac had bouncing around in their heads when the idea for the series was constructed. A playable Pixar movie is the term that's being thrown around, and I couldn't agree more. It's just straight up gorgeous. The wind courses through Ratchet's fur as he runs, bullets fly and explode in spectacular fashion, and the way bolts magnetize and fly towards you has never looked and felt so satisfying. Each planet I journeyed to was surprisingly diverse. To the metropolitan cityscape of Novalis, to the rocky, rustic yet futuristic terrain of Veldin, your jaw will likely drop more than once as you look over the scenery. Every planet throws a new splash of color your way, something I felt the original lacked. Sure, it had more color than your average bro shooter, but the colors explicitly popped this time around. When I hear Insomniac Games, one word comes to mind: guns. They have such a passion for the wacky and strange, and it all started with Ratchet and Clank. Many of the original guns return, and a few new ones are sprinkled in to change things up for seasoned veterans. The trusty combustor and fusion bomb are back as standard fare for third-person shooters, but as you venture deeper, you come across some of the more magical guns. The Pixelizer shoots a pounding shotgun blast that turns enemies into an 8-bit mound, and Mr. Zircon gives you an additional little buddy to take on enemies with. Then there's the Groovatron. The Groovatron is the antithesis of Ratchet and Clank. In the middle of an intense battle, enemies come from all sides. I had no choice. I'm out of ammo on my combustor, and there's just too many of them. It's time to try out the Groovatron. At first, nothing happens as I hurl the grenade-like bomb in the middle of my enemies. Music begins to pulse through my speakers, and the disco ball emerges. Then they start dancing. The music pumps and my once vicious foes have been reduced to doing the shuffle. It's hilarious and lighthearted and perfectly defines the tone of what makes Ratchet and Clank a memorable time. Aside from blasting enemies away, Ratchet and Clank provides a legion of things to do to keep you coming back. Ratchet levels up the more enemies you take down, and each specific gun has a level of its own. I found myself focusing on my favorite weapons to see just how crazy I can make them, but I couldn't help but see if I could make my less frequently used guns more powerful. To my surprise, many weapons I originally didn't enjoy turned out to be some of my favorites. Additionally, these guns can be further tweaked at stores to get more ammo or blast radius. If that isn't enough for you, there's even a little card collection system that helps you power up. Ratchet and Clank never takes itself too seriously, and the story makes sure to remind you of that regularly. The writing is witty, and at times laugh-out-loud funny. The characters are as lovable as ever, and this time Captain Quark is doing the narrating, which is fantastic. It helps keep things light, and Jim Ward gives a stand-up performance. Actually, everyone gives a stand-up performance. The voice acting is 5-star material across the board. All of this praise, and I haven't even mentioned the ship sequences, the grind rails, or the hoverboard minigames. These minute aspects are what boost Ratchet and Clank to be remarkable. Ratchet and Clank on PS4 is what my 7-year-old eyes remember, and then some. It's the best looking game on PS4, and now PS4's best exclusive. Yeah, I said it. Ratchet and Clank is a buy, and retailing at $40, you have no excuse not to go out and support this game. You very well may find yourself feeling the same magic you felt so long ago. What did you think of Ratchet and Clank? Do you agree? Disagree? Why? Leave a comment below and tell me what you think. If you like what you heard and want to hear more, be sure to click that subscribe button to stay up to date on all Should I Buy Games content. Are you as unbelievably excited for Uncharted 4 as I am? Well, if you are and you like this channel, be sure to go over to twitch.tv/shouldibuy_games, where I'll be streaming the whole darn thing on May 10th. Trust me, you want to be there for all the action. Lastly, remember, let Should I Buy Games waste money so you don't have to.